to somebody, maybe me, maybe somebody else, I don't know. He said, as long as you think your problem is alcohol, you're going to die drunk. Oh, Jesus, Bob. Now on the way home, I said, why do you say things like that? You make me look bad. Yeah. That's what this program's about. I'm not an alcoholic, but these people are alcoholics. Their problem is alcohol. They need help. So their problem isn't alcohol. If their problem is alcohol, they shouldn't even be in AA. Oh, Bob. Lights kind of hot out there in the set today, were they? I could always make him crazy in about 2 minutes if I wanted to. And he gave me a long talk, then and thereafter, most of which I was able to blot out. But someone got through it, and it really has been a cornerstone of my life ever since, although I didn't know it at the time, had no idea. He said, kid, the problem is not alcohol. If the problem is alcohol, there's a way to beat it. I said, what's that, Bob? He says, you quit drinking and you clean up your act. I said, that doesn't work, Bob. I've tried that 1,000 times. He said, that's right. That's because your problem isn't alcohol. You got something, apparently, like me, it sounds like alcohol, isn't alcohol. What could that be, Bob? He says, it's something called alcoholism. Oh, Jesus, Bob. Don't play word games with me. I look terrible, but I'm smart. Look, alcoholism, hooray, I'm cured. Shut up, he explained. He said, there's a big difference here, kid. You overcome alcohol by stopping drinking. In this strange thing called alcoholism, which unfortunately for you and me looks almost exactly the same to the naked eye, this mind-consuming, perception-distorting, bodily eroding thing called alcoholism, you'll discover sooner or later that stopping drinking and cleaning up your act has no significant long-term effect on your life other than to gradually make it so painful you can't stand it. I said, Jesus, Bob. I never heard anybody say that before. They always say, stop drinking is going to be better. I said, nah. For people like us, stopping drinking makes it worse. I go, my God, Bob. Then why do these alcoholics drink when they notice it eats them up? He said, they're not drinking because it eats them up, kid. You don't seem to know much. He says, you've been around AA all these years, you don't know much. He says, you understand that an alcoholic is a person who gets an unnatural reaction to alcohol? Yes, I know about that. It sets up a phenomenon of craving, and they can't stop, and they drink forever and ever. He said, no, that's podium talk. The unnatural effect on alcohol, he had a Coke in his hands, is something entirely different. He said, when I have a couple drinks, it almost instantly alters my perception of reality. When I have a few drinks, it almost instantly changes my relationship to the world around me. When I have a few drinks, it almost instantly makes me taller and more self-contained, and them smaller and less threatening. I said, Jesus, Bob, what's wrong with that? He said, because it is not really happening, you moron. He said, you'll drink, but you continue to drink, and maybe phenomenal craving, whatever it is, but you're going to drink till you have to get sober again. I said, well, if that's the case, Bob, now these people know it's doing bad things to them. Why would they drink now? He said, that's the other part of it. You don't seem to understand much, kid. He said, when people are born and grow up, there's a lot you have to learn to be a kid or a young person growing up. You have to learn there's problems you got to deal with and conflicts you got to deal with. You got to learn, you got to give to get sometimes. Some days you just eat a crap sandwich and swallow it and keep going and all sorts of things. So he says that procedure is called maturing. If you become a mature individual and learn these lessons, you can live pretty comfortably. You can hold a job, get along with your co-employees if you want to, get along with your kids, get along with the neighbors, go on square vacations and enjoy them. He says, but this almost never happens to alcoholics. I said, why not, Bob? He said, we've discovered along the line, when we have a meaningful problem we have to find a solution for, or a conflict, we don't have to find a solution. I can drink it away. Here's to you, household finance. Here's to you, bitch. I never liked you anyway. Hey, Mr. Carlson, take your job and just shove it up your nose. And it really works. But there's one thing I don't know. It sets up a little caboose that follows me everywhere, full of unresolved childish emotions. And when the day comes, as it does come for most of us, I'm going to straighten out, I'm going to do this right, I'm not going to go all this drinking and get in trouble anymore, I'm going to do this for... And never once know it's impossible for me. Because no matter how hard my determination is, eventually someone will trigger those emotions. Someone will hurt my feelings. Someone will put me down. Someone will make me feel bad, and that starts the emotions. When I was a young man, I'd go over those people and punch them and quit the job. But when you get a family, you can't do that anymore. So you receive, you watch the pressure build. Try to get away to get rid of that son of a bitch, or how can I get even with him? It's over. And why don't they just leave me alone? It gets pretty bad sometimes. Scientists say that people like us get to a point where you literally must drink to preserve your sanity. And so I always drink eventually. Then it all goes to hell again. Why'd you drink? I don't know. Just leave me alone. And he said, that's why people always, Alcoholics Anonymous, we don't do reality. We drink till we have to get sober, then stay sober till we have to drink, then drink till we have to stay sober. Whatever they like the period on either side of the equation. I said, Jesus, Bob, I never heard anybody talk about that before. That's the story of my life. In the last few years, I really had some big jobs. I really did well sometimes. But I always blew up emotionally, or somebody didn't make me feel that way. It's just terrible, Bob. I got to drink to stand it. He said, there's a name for people like you. I thought, uh-oh. What could it be, Bob? He said, you're an alcoholic. I said, my God. If that's what an alcoholic is, that's what I am. I can't believe it. It's not what I thought an alcoholic was. That was in December of 1958.